Unseen, unheard. This one's mine. Is that all you got? Just like the good old days.
Another godless ruin. Your countrymen turned that one into a shrine to Wodika.
Well met. Feel free to partake of Wodika's favor. Welcome. Please stay a while. May the Burned Queen watch over you. Come to pay your respects at the shrine, envoy? Praise you. I was hoping the Emperor would send more hands to help. These lands are in dire need of order. Just look at the state of this shrine. To show fealty to Wodika is to show fealty to our homeland. Without the patron of justice and oaths, there is no Adir. A shrine in this state does not befit a god of her stature. But one of her totems still rests here. It must still be a sacred place. Totems like these are relics from a bygone era. There are legends about how the gods imbued them with their own essence. Can you imagine holding something like this in your hands? Alas, this one is a fragment of what it once was. What I would give to see what power it held. Fortunately, my commander agreed to let me take charge of restoring both the shrine and the totem. I've been posted here ever since. Not much, I'm afraid. All I can tell you is that it's very old. I suspect it was built for a different purpose before it became a shrine to Wodika. Wodika's wisdom will prevail. She'll reveal the way forward. Painstakingly. We don't have the right materials to rebuild the shrine, so we have to make do. I've asked for more supplies. Hopefully the Quartermaster won't be foolish enough to refuse. The Burned Queen deserves everything from us. The sky, and the land, and the heads of her enemies. The others betrayed her. They cast the Queen out. But it doesn't matter. She will prevail in the end. Fuck Margaret for burning her. Fuck Arbidon for building the machines that powered Margaret's treachery. I have more patience for the two gods of death, Bereth and Rimagand. I merely tolerate Wal and Scan. And I'm profoundly uninterested in Eothas. Apologies. I suppose I have strong opinions on the gods, particularly those that cross the Burned Queen. Of course, I consider myself a self-taught scholar of all the gods, though I am partial to one. Eothas rules over light and hope and redemption and all such things. He allegedly died, but then rose again in the Deadfire Archipelago. They also say that long ago, a farmer by the name of Widewind claimed to be a vessel of Eothas, and went on a rampage across the Eastern Reach. Frivolous idiocy, as far as I'm concerned. Calls himself a god of crafting, but Arbidon is just a sniveling idiot who serves Margaret, creating weapons for her campaigns. I don't understand how he could bow his head to that traitor. Eothas rules over light and hope. They also frivolous. Ah, you'd think so. Bereth is the one who determines who lives and dies, ruling over the paths that the dead walk to their next lives. But Rimagand rules over the act of death itself. He is famine, and he is loss, bad luck on a winter road. Very different aspects of the same universal end. Margaret is a traitor. Instead of bowing her head, Margaret burned Wodika. Yet her followers claim she's not a god of battle lust, that she instead embodies military excellence and discipline. Ha! If she were either of such things, the act of worshipping her wouldn't be so persecuted in Rayed Ceres. Yes, a god of resentment, and secret hatreds, and violent rebellions. Sometimes, his followers mutilate themselves so he can possess them, transforming them into killing machines that die when the slaughter is done. I'm not surprised. Wal is the god of secrets and revelations. Their worshippers have probably rambled incoherently at you about one thing or another at some point. It's tiresome. Of course. Goodbye. Wait! You have an important mission, Envoy. Before you go, take the totem on the altar with you. I feel you should have it. Perhaps it will grant you the Burned Queen's grace on your journey. I will await its return. Go well, my friend.
Bet that was part of something once. You take lead. If she discovers any embarrassing secrets, I'll keep them to myself. Promise.
No, that wasn't me. But it was. How am I ever supposed to return to the farm? Be careful, godlike. Runid has such power. God, such terrifying power. No, I don't think I am. Oh, she told me such terrible things. I was a wicked person in my last life. Evil to the core. So many dead. I suppose. But that doesn't change what happened. Entire families destroyed by me. Look, I just want to go back home, to the farm. How can I possibly face anyone now, knowing what I know? I keep telling myself that that person, that murderer isn't me, but they were. mean that? All of those people I hurt. Thank you, godlike. You have given me much to think on. Oh, make sure to toss a coin into the pond behind the Watcher's home after your reading. Why, it's tradition. Rooney doesn't accept payment for her readings. So this is what people do. What you do is your decision, but you have been warned. Talk to her at your own risk. I wish I hadn't.
Step closer, godlike. If it is a watcher you seek, then a watcher you have found.
She's accurate so far.
Why have you come to me, godlike? Let's have a look at you then. You who came to these shores on a royal errand. You who have died and returned. To open the door to your soul, we must first open a door to your mind. Now repeat after me. I stand on the shore between here and beyond. Very good. Spoken with conviction. I dip my toe into bottomless depths. The lake is a mirror. The mirror is a door. And the door stands open.
A door? A garden gate?
Impossible. Someone is here with us? How? Who are you? What are you? Show me what you are.
A hand knocks on our bark. Do we answer? How can they see?
What is this I hear? Old and forgotten. Echoes of echoes. An uninvited passenger? Curious. Something clings to your soul, felt but unseen.
Voices, echoes in the placid lake. Shelter the seed from winter. Who reaches for our bars? Who speaks?
Enough! I have seen into your soul, and hereby close that which was open. The door is shut, the reading finished. Well, that was truly unexpected. I am pleased to report I made contact with your soul, and then with something I cannot name. First, the good news. Not only is your soul healthy, it is strong, powerful. Strange for one who so recently died. Death leaves a scar, but you are unmarked. Instead of passing through the beyond, your soul was nurtured, protected, caged.
Soft. The shell cushions the egg.
You only live because someone would not permit you to die. But I wonder, who? I can say much, but that thing, whatever it is, eludes me. It has been years since I met a godlike. Their souls have a sonorous quality, like the music of a bell. A godlike soul sings together with the god that has claimed them, made them their own. It gives them power. Your soul, it has no chime. In its place, a thorn jabs at your essence, working its way to the surface. I told you the good news. Now comes the bad, or the unusual. When you came into this life, a thorn pierced the fabric of your soul, and your soul grew around it, trapping and embracing the invader. A godlike's chime is a gift, a blessing. But a godlike's thorn? That I cannot say. The gods must answer for their actions. We know that a god touched you at birth, but which one and why? They always sign their work, and none of them lay claim to you. Disturbing. Terrible. There are so few godlike remaining, and you are a stranger even among your own kind. Better luck in your next life. I wish I could tell you that everything will work out in your favor, but the wheel turns by a merciless hand. One word of advice. When you find a pillar of Ardra, commune with it. Ardra has a strong link to the beyond. Ardra holds the path between this life and the next, a conduit for souls all around Aora. Through Ardra, a soul may find its way back to the wheel to be born again. But the Ardra here, in the living lands, is different, insular. It connects only to itself, twisting vines, essence warping into essence. That I do not know. My duty is to settle souls. I cannot guide them through the beyond. When you find Ardra, commune with it. Take heed of its lesson. Ardra may pave your road to the truth, or it may lead to a dead end. But the journey will teach you. That I promise. Before we close, have you any final questions? As you understand the word, yes. You fell into death, and a guiding hand lifted you back onto your feet.
That guiding hand, whatever it is, must be what brought you back to life at Liviana's.
Your soul is healthy, but it is also a mystery beyond my sight. Kai, your soul is heavy, burdened, yet something is missing. Something not easily replaced.
Hey, we don't need to make this all about me.
For us both, I assure you. Safe travels, Godlike, and thank you for the glimpse at your wonderful soul. I will pray that your next turning of the wheel is uneventful. Until then, you are bound to live a rich and complicated life.
This kind of thing makes my skin burn. Let's get out of here.
Trouble me no more.
something on your mind? This is a far cry from the feasts and featherbeds you must be used to. Shoot. I'll tell you what I can. So did my commanding officers. Holler if you need anything else. Did that artifact get warmer, or am I imagining it?
Thoughts and whispers, we feel them rumble beneath the surface. We smell conflict. Kith turn on kith. We do not understand. They come on foreign ships, exiles grafted from other trees. The salt clings to their hair, the scent of distant shores to their skin. Branches unimpeded. Why? foundling deer seeking the woods. But the ground stirs. New roots seek to grow taller than the old. They bring banners, arrows, swords. What do they seek from us? Blood thickens the stream. Wolves fighting for territory. Is the instinct to conquer innate? Tranquility. The fox befriends the hound. Could it be true? We learn much. Sleep now. Dream of warm tides and purple leaves.
Back in the fight. Not looking so good. Next one's mine. Back in the fight. Oh, no, you don't. Time to rally. I was just getting warmed up.
I'll be honest, after seeing your murder, it's still strange to see you walking around like it never happened. I'll get used to it. I'm glad you're okay.
Clearly his tits. Someone was actually brazen enough to sneak in. To sneak into the camp for this. This.
People are angry. Can't see how much good we've done for everyone since we got here. They'll come around.
Yeah.
Right behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're done here.
This is where you fell. Don't count on anyone cleaning up the bloodstain anytime soon.
Boy, got a situation over here.
Wish that sod
Wow, it's really you! I mean, we all heard the Emperor sent a godlike, but I didn't never think I'd get to meet you. You are the envoy, aren't you? I bow, but I think I dislocated my shoulder, and I might have broken some ribs. My brother, Cadman, and I ran into some trouble exploring a temple north of the city. Bears and traps and guards. What else? The floor collapsed from under us. He couldn't walk too well, and yet our captain wanted to keep going, so he sent me back for help. We're with a team from the Free Expedition Corps. We've seen a lot. But no place like this. I fear for their lives, Envoy. They descended into the temple through a route off the Pilgrim's Path, just north of the city. You'll know you're headed the right way when you see trail markers and rock stacks the Pilgrims left behind. We posted a guard out front, Sedgwin. Let her know I sent you, and she'll let you pass. Well, I gather there were folks who worshipped Aethys. And they'd come to this temple from all over the Living Lands to pray, or be healed, or to ask forgiveness. But Aethys isn't too popular these days, so...
So, most people don't go there anymore.
Right. Exactly. We went there to talk to a man the locals call the Oracle. He's a godlike of Aethys, if you can believe it. The Oracle is said to possess a holy relic that belonged to Aethys, a part of the god's Titan body. This Oracle, I don't know if he's dangerous, but he's supposed to carry a sword full of diamonds. I'll probably never get to see it now. Cadman's not gonna believe his eyes when he sees you. You'll probably find the expedition with the relic we were searching for. Whatever that is. Thank you for hearing me out, Envoy.
You died. But you're here. Gods, am I glad to see you. None of the clerks believe my story.
Envoy, hello. I'm glad to see you on your feet. Kai.
Tej.
I'm surprised they let you in here.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
I didn't mean anything by it, Envoy. He's just curious company for you to keep.
Hey, somebody has to have the envoys back, because you all sure did it.
No one expected the Envoy to get assassinated.
Exactly. Amateurs. Well.
Kai?
Come on, it's funny. Tej caused a ruckus last time he was slumming it at the Ballarrock. You were trying to kill a man, if I remember right. I had to put you outside.
You threw me into the canal.
You lived.
That water's filthy. I had the runs for 3 days.
Gods, Tej. The envoy doesn't need to know that. Yeah, but now you'll never think of Tej the same way again, will you? And now he'll never think of you the same way either.
Let's not make more of it than it was. I shouldn't have said anything. The fellow cheated me. I couldn't let that slide. Or he'd think we were all marks.
It was over a dice game, right? Tej here has a gambling problem.
Great. Let's air all my troubles. Is there anything else?
The bartender sleeping with your girlfriend.
You're lying.
You sure about that?
We'll talk about this later.
I'm not breaking up with her for you. Just so we're clear.
That's more than enough. Thank you. Was there anything I could help you with, Envoy? The 7-foot-tall Aumaua with biceps the size of my head? No, I am not.
Flatterer. You know I'm barely over 6.5.
Naturally, sir. How can I help you? What would you like to know? If you're looking for a particular year, the first thing you should know about Paradise is that this isn't the kind of place where the locals keep records. And though it might be considered a distant backwater by the rest of the world, this city is the height of civilization by the standards of the living lands. As for who calls this place home, I suspect you could find a criminal, confidence man, or prophet from every civilization in the world here.
Hey, come on. You're gonna give the envoy the wrong idea. We've got draft dodgers, courtesans, and revolutionaries, too. You know, all the fun people.
In any event. As far as I can tell, Paradise has been this way since its inception. Thus the eclectic display of architectural styles. If nothing else, this city is a reflection of the countless people who have passed through it on their way to the interior. Depends on who you ask. Ambassador Heelgard will tell you that our remit here is to establish a secure and orderly environment from which to engage in trade. Inquisitor Liudwin will tell you we're here to break the frontier.
So, which is it?
Why not both? That's where you come in. Whether you find your desires aligning with the ambassadors or the inquisitors, neither can succeed until the Dream Scourge is ended. We are only beginning to see its effects here in Dawnshore, but the closer to the center of the island you go, the worse it gets. That bear you and the ambassador encountered in the Strangle Route isn't even the worst of it. And the tide of this soul plague is rising higher every day. Look, for all that I complain about this backwater, there are good people here. Same as anywhere else. People who want to be able to walk to the market in the morning for their bread and eggs and know they won't be mugged. People who like it when the mail comes on time and their skates are made from real copper and their neighborhood peeping Tom ends up in the stocks. Those people, good and honest people, who pay their debts and honor their contracts and remember to thank the gods. They like us a lot. The Resistance, as such, are largely a group of misfits and criminals intent on undermining the rule of law. They take out loans with small Adirn banking houses and do not pay them, then assault the bankers who attempt to collect. They agree to contracts with families in Adir seeking homes, and when their ships arrive, promptly abandon them. When we levy a small tax to fund the repair of city roads, they set our counting house on fire. And when our fishermen return to port, they board their ships and sink them.
That's certainly one way to characterize them. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either.
For decades, people like them ruled this city through fear. We imposed order, and now they oppose us. You, unfortunately, were caught in the crossfire. Of course. There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific? Ah, the age-old question. Who's bigger? Adir is, naturally, by a wide margin. And were we at the Cartographers Guild in High Crown, I could show you on one of their globes. As it is, we must make do in the theater of our minds. The Living Lands are located in the far north of Aora. Adir is southwest of the Living Lands, situated along the equator. The Living Lands are more arid than Adir, and the island is more prone to storms. But its many deep valleys protect the various townships from the worst of the weather. Topographically speaking, the Living Lands are a place of extremes. Deep inland, mountains rise high enough to rival those of the White March, blanketed year-round in snow. While east of the volcano of Mount Forja is an acid sea that sinks far below the level of the ocean. The lands between them are riven with deep clefts in the earth and isolated by wastelands of sun-baked sand dunes. I'll share what I can. There is no singular authority in the Living Lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the Living Lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. Power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace. None of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradise. Fior Messaverno is located in a valley known locally as the Emerald Stair, named for the terraced rice paddies that cover its hillsides. It is our closest neighbor. The city, if you can call it that, was founded 50 years ago by animancers from the Valian Republics. Apparently, the laws governing animancy weren't lenient enough in the republics. So the city's founders came to the Living Lands, where they could practice their discipline more freely. Currently, Fjord is governed by a man named Ignacy Vidaro, rather inept. to hear the ambassador talk about him. Fjord's farmers supply most of the grain and vegetables we eat here in Paradise. Or it did. Their shipments have been infrequent lately. Something about a blight in the fields. In any event, I believe that covers Fjord. The Valian Republics are a collection of city-states in the Eastern Reach, southeast of our former colony, the Deerwood. The Republics began life as colonies of the Grand Empire of Valia, hence the name. But as Grand Valia's economy collapsed, well, the colony saw an opportunity to escape the influence of the Empire of Origin, and they seceded. Much as the Deerwood did from Adir. Now a mature confederation in their own right, the Republics have recently indulged their own expansionist ambitions in the Deadfire Archipelago. Through their merchants in the Valian Trading Company, the Republics will sell you anything you could ever wish to buy.
Up to and including people.
We should count ourselves lucky they've had no interest in the living lands. In a struggle between our Emperor and the Republic's great dukes, well, I doubt we would come out on top. But if anyone asks, I was not the one who told you that. Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the third-born children of Rawatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world, and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and the mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out. Rawatai is one of the old empires, every bit as storied as Grand Valia or our native Adir. If Adir is to the southwest of the Living Lands, Rawatai is to the southeast. And unlike our home, their small continent is racked by terrible storms. This is due, or rather, was due, to the island's proximity to Andra's mortar, the unending super hurricane that once hid the ancient city of Ukaizo. Rawatai is largely peopled by Almawa, descended from those who fled the Deadfire Archipelago centuries ago, when Andra pulled the moon, Ioni Brather, into the sea. They are an aggressive, militant culture, and personally, I find their obsession with gunpowder rather quaint. They are also our chief rivals on the world stage.
I don't think they see it that way.
No?
Well, as far as Navy brass is concerned, Adir doesn't really rate.
Now you're just making things up.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't think about you at all.
Solace is, what is there to say, really?
Yeah, they tend to have that effect on people.
The trouble is, I don't know much about Solace. Nobody does. They are an isolationist community of Pagrunan dwarves who live in the forbidding ways of Galawain's tusks. They don't let outsiders into their lands, and they don't let their people out of them.
Some folks get out from time to time, but they can't ever go back. And the ones who survive aren't eager to talk about their experiences.
People aside, the land itself is incredibly hostile. The island's volcano, Mount Forja, rests at the heart of the region, and it's recently become active. Half the land is lava rock, and the other half is, well, literally lava. I don't know why anyone lives there. I have to assume they're all insane.
You have no idea.
Naturally. The Pargrunen are a unique community of mountain dwarves originating in Old Valia. As a people, they've made their name as explorers, builders, miners. No doubt you've seen their ruins in your travels, here, back home in Adir, and all across the world. They maintain a rich tradition of oral storytelling, chanted magics, and ritual carving, which they take great pains to record and transmit across their various communities. Even the most physically isolated Pargrun is not alone. Somewhere, one of their people is thinking of them and planning an expedition. Abidan must cherish them.
You sound like you admire them.
I suppose I do. I'm an open book. Consider yourself lucky. Inquisitor Ludwine is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it, as ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deathfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodica wasn't done with her yet. I only met her once. She was a mid-level member of the Steel Garrote then, chasing Oathbreakers who'd fled Adiran law. She'd come back to the Imperial Archives to borrow a map to a place called Oathbinder's Sanctum. I remember she was furious because the map was quite poor. She worried about finding the place, about properly executing her duty to her god. She wanted, I think, to do a good job. So, while clearly she has changed, in some sense, I'd say she's much the same. Death Guards are surpassingly rare. Some of the secretaries who traveled with our dignitaries in the Deathfire spoke of one named Iser, a devotee of Berith, who guards the hanging sepulchres there. But I've heard of no others except those I've read about in the histories, or, as you say, in stories. They are people, most often paladins or priests, so devoted to a cause that they simply refuse to pass on to the wheel when they die. Their soul haunts their body. The passion required to sustain them devours their flesh, and they swiftly turn to bone. I've never read a history nor tale of a death guard that did not end with them going quite mad. When they lose their capacity to care for anything but their cause, they cannot love. And when they cannot love, they cannot be merciful. And so everything before them becomes only an obstacle. Think upon your promises and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Adir, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in
their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodeka. Now, they are explicitly her order. And they go wherever Wodeka's priests, or Wodeka herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say. Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodeka's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodeka does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free. By all means. Oh, I hope it wasn't that charlatan in Hightown. She's an absolute menace. That the militia puts up with her is a testament to how unfit they are to run this city. Right. Not what you asked. Anyway. Watchers are individuals capable of perceiving souls. The soul may be in a living body, or it may simply be lingering, waiting to pass into the in-between. In either case, interacting with a soul allows a watcher to glimpse a person's past lives or their most deeply buried memories. Watchers are incredibly rare, and in Adir, highly controlled. Many people wish to know who they were in a previous life, and do not like what they learn. The smart ones stay hidden. They do not announce their powers, perhaps not even to themselves. Even a careful watcher risks inadvertently revealing themselves by knowing something they shouldn't know. Of the ones that are public, little is concretely known, but we hear things. They make good judges in Wodeka's courts, so long as they're controlled. The lords, it's rumored, buy and sell them to collect blackmail on their enemies. But I suspect many watchers are imprisoned or executed, or simply kill themselves. A watcher doesn't need your cooperation or consent to read your soul. They could learn everything about you, terribly damaging things about your parentage, for example, or things you did in a past life, without you ever knowing. You see how this could threaten the established order, undermine our betters' right to rule.
Yeah, but that's just one side to it. Imagine how a watcher feels, knowing what a threat they are to the status quo. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be keen on kings and emperors wanting me dead. Sounds like a lot of hassle.
Don't sell yourself short, Kai. I don't doubt you're an expert in people wanting you dead.
You're not wrong.
I rarely am, in any case. The Watcher is fundamentally a tragic figure. Of the few that survive our world, most are destined to go mad. Yes and no. So far as I understand it, a Watcher is born a Watcher. But it takes an event, often something shocking or traumatic, to bring a Watcher's powers to the fore. So you may be a Watcher, or I may be, or Kai, and we might not even know.
Well, the Watcher of Cadnua is legendary. It was their castle Aethys destroyed when he began his campaign of terror in the Dead Fire. Oh, by the Queen, I hope I get to meet them someday. In terms of local interest, you'll have heard of Runid, of course.
And there was Ida. You may not know about her. She was a Watcher from the Living Lands. I believe she was an Orlan. She must have died, 150 years ago. Slain by a great serpent, gods treat kindly with her soul.
Doubtless there are others, but most don't meet a good end.
I'm an open book. Off-freak, I did. Terrible shame what happened to his brother. It sounds like his injuries were severe. I saw you two talking. I hope you can help him, Envoy.
Oh, that's a relief. Cadman is a good kid, cannier than his brother, and wasted on those glorified tomb robbers. You're the only one we have with the expertise for that kind of field work.
Aside from the people in trouble down there, which says something to the danger in that cave.
Whatever I think of the Expeditions Corps, they serve a vital purpose to the Empire. I'm glad it's you going after them.
Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here.
If that man sleeps, I don't know about it.
He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the Claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradise.
Claviger Aemon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me. He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does. Be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me. And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy. Of course. Should you ever need me, I will be here. Safe travels, Envoy.
Envoy, is it really you? believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel? And yet you rallied your spirits and reported for duty. Your dedication is admirable. But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands. You said you had a missive for me from the Emperor? Very good. I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends. Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness. At least someone understands the gravity of our situation. With that, I had better news for him. You've seen how wild the Living Lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own. No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles. Trust me, we'll get to that. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities. No doubt some superstitious peasant toiling in the fields. The Living Lands has plenty of both. Inquisitor Ludwig thinks the plague is a distraction. She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire. At least rebels know the meaning of negotiation and compromise. But a plague kills indiscriminately. Though, even I must admit, the rebels have gone too far. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open.
All the more reason to strike first, or so the thinking goes.
Whatever their reason, we have to retaliate for the good of the Empire. I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the Living Lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwig demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisian rebels must face justice. The choice is yours, as will be the consequences. All I ask is that you use your best judgment.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find. He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradise. Marius is from the Tusks, about the harshest and remotest place the gods ever created, even by the standards of the Living Lands.
Trickery, lies. The gods did not build this place.
Let's just say no one survives out there without picking up a few skills, the kind we'll need if we're going to find hidden assassins. Especially if they're from the streets of Paradise.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. Oh, before you go, we received a report from Liviana about your condition. Apparently, you're in fine shape. Once your killer has been dealt with, you can come and go as you please. Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it. Oh, I wish I could see the killer's face when they realize the hunter has become the hunted. We'll talk more of the Dream Scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy.
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Balrog? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
I can't tell you how grateful I am that you survived the attempt on your life. But let's not dwell on unpleasant matters.
Killer is still at large. A captain from the Valian Trading Company seeks a criminal known as Trevik. Trevik and his crew are believed armed and deadly.
Walk in, give her the letter, and go. I can do this.
High Market. A haven of opulence in an otherwise nice city. The so-called godless people disappeared centuries ago, but left plenty of ruins to remember them by.
Quiet as the depths. You're going now! You're gonna regret that! Nice shot! Left leg! That's not hitting hard enough. Gotta find some better armor. To your left! Back on my feet. On your right!
Back on my feet.
You're gonna regret that.
Nice.
You're gonna regret this. Left flank.
Perk up on. Nice. Watch the left. That's it for me. Back in the fight. On your right. Nothing like a win with a good team.
Here we go! I can't! That's more like it! Coming from the right!
This looks like the path Offric told us about. Great view, isn't it? You can even see Fort Northreach in the distance. Oh, too soon.
If you traveled weeks to see him, you can wait a few more days. The Temple of Aethys is closed. Ugh, I don't know why everyone in the living land suddenly wants to see the old kook in there, but it's not happening. Not today, anyway. Probably not tomorrow, either. Not with the way they're dawdling.
Since when do you make the rules?
Since I arrived with the big sword.
So you say I need a bigger sword. The Oracle has one. Let me in and I will borrow it.
I'm saying you need to go home, because the goddamn temple is closed. The boy made it back to the embassy. I half expected him to kick off on the way there.
He was badly injured and grieving his brother's wounds. I say it is good news.
Sure, until the Inquisitor hears he abandoned his men to go crying for his mum.
Good thinking. If we duck out fast, they might not even notice we're gone.
Perhaps I will sneak inside while you are sleeping. What say you then?
Guess I'll just have to leave with you.
That spear looks endearing, all right. Guess we're on the right track. Think someone gave up on this, or think the tripwire got him? Doors open. Look alive. They've seen us.
Show me what you got!
Now we know why the expedition team abandoned that puzzle. Another win. But who's counting? Views like this remind me why I came to the Living Lands in the first place.
Something stirs here.
Blood and a broken tripwire. Maybe Offric's squad passed through here. Look at that. That statue. How did anyone build that all the way down here?
Rituals, whispers of searing light.
Zarms. What a snake or fight. Unseen, unheard.
Take your best shot.
This one's mine. You take lead. Hold it together, kid. We're nearly there.
Not my brother. I got to be dreaming. Oh gods, am I dead? Is this the Beyond Spirit? Have you come to take me to Garlowain's side?
The kid's in bad shape, but he's not too far gone. I think we can help him.
I'm not ready. I've never even touched a girl. It's not fair.
Not with that. No. Oh, you mean healing him. Sorry, I'm all out of potions. I don't know any healing magic either.
Magic? I had to learn some magic, but only the kind that explodes. I don't want to explode. Please help me. Oh, God, that's wretched. Are you sure you're not trying to kill me?
That's just the medicine working. And look, you're halfway to lucid, and your wounds are closing up.
Oh, wow. I feel leagues better. I thought for sure you were coming to take me back to the wheel. Who are you? What you doing down here? He actually made it? I wasn't sure he'd come through. And he sent the Emperor's fucking envoy. Damn. Am I ever glad to meet you?
Focus. The Free Expeditions Corps. Where are they?
Right. Those assholes. They went on without me after I got hurt. We'll come back for you once we've got the relic, Cadman, honest. Oh, shit. Yeda was probably hoping I'd croak so she wouldn't have to tell our freak how she abandoned me. All she cares about is that Oracle and his relic, which is probably just a big old dog bone if you ask me. He's probably still down there, fiddling with the statue. You must have seen it on your way in. Our captain, she's... I don't know. I don't want to talk out of turn.
Relax. You're not the first person to have a bad commander.
It's not like that. I mean, it didn't used to be. Yeda's not been quite herself lately. I've always known her to be cautious, careful. Now she charges forward recklessly. And she pushes us as hard as she pushes herself. And that's how I got hurt.
Has she been short-tempered? Distracted?
Yeah. When we make camp, she has these terrible dreams. Wakes us all up with her screaming and muttering.
Can't be sure, but it sounds like the Dream Scourge to me, Envoy.
I doubt I know much more than you do. I mean, you're godlike, just like him.
Come on, kid. Don't get starstruck now.
Well, he's touched by Aethys, right? And he's supposed to be old, like hundreds of years old. And I don't mean elf old, he's extra old, like Aethys has been keeping him alive or something.
Great. He's old. Anything else?
They used to receive pilgrims, but only the ones who could make it to him. This place, it's like a trial.
Yeah, we've seen the same traps and crumbling buildings you have.
And he's building something. A statue of Aethys, I think. But I don't know what for. I mean, after all Aethys did in the Deadfire, people don't come here anymore. He'll be the last one to have seen him, I bet. I'll just rest up here a minute before I head back to Paradise.
Take it easy. No sense getting yourself into another scrape.
Promise, I'll take it slow. Hey, Envoy, for what it's worth, I really thought I was gonna die down here. It's a lucky thing you found me then. Right, yeah. You got those assholes to save and everything. I hope they're better off than I was. I'll just rest here a second, and then head on me way.
Seems like a good kid. Glad we could give him a hand. Maybe one of Juliana's girls will too. So, the kid said the expedition team went deeper, looking for the Oracle. I say we head after him.
Is that all you got?
Good fight. Didn't realize the head of the Steel Garrote was into antiques. I see someone. Be ready for anything.
My brother. Can it be? Come. It has been too long. I had feared I was the last of us, but the very sight of you is a balm for the soul. I am the Oracle Sargamis, servant of the once shining god, he whose light has lately dimmed. What brings you to this sacred space? Then Sargamis spoke, and his voice swept forth with the heat and force of the bright day's sun. Weep not, for the child of light has forgiveness even for you, if you will embrace him. I am that same Sargamis, though it has been some time since a man has knelt before me and begged absolution, as Hamka did. The people do not hold to the gods any longer, and they do not hold to their servants. We live in a time of disbelief. The gods are absent, and have recalled their gifts from the world. Avarice reigns. Acquisition is the faith to which all men bow. But perhaps there is hope. You have read the Book of Verses, and we are here together, if only briefly. In this moment, we are not entirely alone. An expedition? I'm afraid I don't understand.
An expedition? You know, treasure maps, matching outfits, campfire songs, the works.
I am familiar with the concept, tomb raiding and the like. What troubles me is why they would come here. These ruins are not so different from the many others on this island, except that they are a good deal more treacherous. And this representation of Aethys we stand before, it is the work of my own hands. They could not hope to move it. Do you know what their purpose is here? It's a reasonable question, I'll grant you. You must understand, this place has seen so few visitors for so long that I often retreat into my private quarters, to read, you understand, or pray, or sleep. Age has made me slow. I tire easily. I sleep now more hours than I wake. They could have already come and gone, and I would be none the wiser. In any case, you haven't told me what it was they searched for. Or do you not know? Ah, the splinter of Aethys. I suppose it was too much to hope they were here to examine these exquisite ruins. Truly, it is their loss. It rests in a shrine deep within this temple complex, beyond the reach of looters, visitors, or indeed, myself. The path to the relic has fallen to ruin. Some sections are flooded, and others are infested with all manner of creatures. Although, perhaps you might assist me with that.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
Oh, no. I had something far grander in mind. You see, this construction beside us is no mere statue, but a reliquary I have built to house the splinter of Aethys in its appropriate grandeur. It is nearly complete, and ready for the splinter to be interred. But I can no longer reach the relic on my own. Return it to me, and who knows, perhaps you will meet your expedition along the way.
I am most grateful. Oh, and please refrain from touching my statue or devices. May light illuminate your path, brother. Leave those be. They protect my devices.
Earth and rock! Unsink!
Don't touch the generators!
Careful, please.
I'm sick! Don't damage my statue!
The bridge is out, but that looks like the way to the relic. This reminds me of the Strangle route. But how is anything this big growing all the way down here? quiet as the depths.
This one's mine. Another glorious battle.
Ready? Aim. "6 years in Dawnshore, and I never knew something this big was under our feet the whole time."
You're mine now! Watch your back!